It's been a while, I've been out on my own. I get a little anxious when you call me on the phone. Somebody said that it fades away, but in the interim it was hard to see that way. It's been a while, I've been out on my own. I'm in denial about living life alone. I said I don't like change, but I'm not afraid. I can't keep it together ever anyway. When every page is in disarray, I think we'll be okay. I said I don't like change, but I'm not afraid. I can't keep it together ever anyway. When every page is in disarray, I think we'll be okay that way. I thought I'd change when I got older, but the same year came over and over, and the only change that I could feel was the aging of my bones. And then one October, when the sidewalk home was covered over, well, I don't know the method, but you pulled right from the loan. It's been a while, I've been out on my own. I'm in denial about living life alone. I said I don't like change, but I'm not afraid. I can't keep it together ever anyway. And when every page is in disarray, I think we'll be okay. I said I don't like change, but I'm not afraid. I can't keep it together ever anyway. And when every page is in disarray, I think we'll be okay that way. That way. Why do I have to stay here on the ground? It's overrated. The cityscape escapes you with a sound. It's delineated. I waited at the station for an hour, but I won't make it. You take off on an uptap by the tower, and you overtake it. Every moment I see you on the rise, you're drawn across the sky. Now that ink has dried, and I can't tell you why. Oh, Mimi, can you tell me there's an issue? I've seen it clouded all around you. Why can't you tell me there's an issue you've seen before? Oh, Mimi, can you tell me there's an issue? I've seen it clouded all around you. Why can't you tell me there's an issue you've seen before? And I can't tell you why. Oh, I can't tell you why. Why you have to stay here on the ground? It's overrated. The cityscape parades you with a sound. It's delineated. No one here has even learned your name, but they all claim that they saw you land and land to do the same, but they won't make it. Every moment I see you on the rise, you're drawn across the sky. Now that ink has dried, and I can't tell you why. Oh, Mimi, can you tell me there's an issue? I've seen it clouded all around you. Why can't you tell me there's an issue you've seen before? Oh, Mimi, can you tell me there's an issue? I've seen it clouded all around you. Why can't you tell me there's an issue you've seen before? And I can't tell you why. won't ever let it go. When you had the answer and you were there alone, you left the door unopened when you knew that you would want more. Give it up, give it up, give it away. While you were barely aware, you learned that day. Cut off so much, hardly remained. While you knew that there was still a way. This is your only plan. Oh, now this is your only. Now this is your only plan. Oh, now this is yours. And you're right. You force it to yield. You forge it to the lines. You let your callous be your shield, and everyone will say that it all was finished years ago, but you will stay, and you won't ever let it go. When you had the answer and you were there alone, you left the door unopened when you knew that you would want more. Then again you found the answer and you were there alone. You left the door unopened when you knew that you would want more. When you had the answer and you were there alone, you left the door unopened when you knew that you would want more. Then again you found the answer and you were there alone. You left the door unopened when you knew that you would want more.
Good evening, everyone. Howdy, how are you all doing tonight? My name is Shim, and I'm happy to bring you coverage of tonight's race here at Laguna Seca. This is Zad's Galaxy Tour Season 10, brought to you by Zealous Racing League. We've got round 9 coming up here in a moment. Let me just make sure the audio settings are correct though for the stream, so you can actually hear these beautiful car sounds as our drivers attempt to make some practice laps here at Laguna Seca. That is right, folks. We're here at the beautiful Laguna Seca as we get a great look at the corkscrew right there. The very, very famous chicane down the hill. It is what this track is known for, what it is famous for. To watch our drivers navigate this very tricky and technical track in what is sure to be an exciting race for everyone to view. Now, as some of you may know, that this was technically supposed to be the race last week, and I wasn't even supposed to be here last week because of work trips. But you know what is a curse for all the drivers having to wait another week turns out to be a blessing for me, because I'm able to actually make this race tonight and give you live coverage of this round 9. But like I said, Kunos' servers did go down last week, so all of the ACC servers were down and we were not able to race. So what that's going to do is it's just going to push everything back a single week. So instead of this week being our final round, round 10, next week will be round 10. This week will be round 9. So just moving everything back a single week. Nothing too difficult here. We like to simplify things as much as we can for our admins here at Zealous Racing League. Now, for looking at the Joker track selections today, it looks like we have, we may not have any of our drivers actually taking the Joker this week. So everything is going to be straight up and down. What you see is what you're going to get here tonight, because none of our drivers, at least that are present in the server at this point, are going to be taking that Joker lap. Now, this race is going to be a 60-minute race, so it's the shortest that we've had all season, which is 60 minutes. So we've been doing hour-long races or more all season long. So this is one of the shorter races of the season, and our drivers need to make one mandatory pit stop. The pit window, as you know, and if you've been tuning in for previous sessions, the pit window is going to be 90% of the race. So our drivers are going to need to make it through the first few laps of the race. Going to need to make sure things are clean, and then they should be able to go in, pit for tires, pit for fuel, whatever they want to do. As we watch Belanger here, one of our three Ferraris, our three French Ferraris. It's a strange thing to say, a French Ferrari, but all of our three Ferrari drivers this season are from Canada and are all French Canadian, at least as far as I know. You can make fun of me all you want and me messing up all the French Canadian names, but from what I'm aware of, all of them are French Canadian. But they are currently 6, 7, and 8 in our practice session as we have 13.5 minutes left to go. One thing I did want to do, since we are coming to a close this season, I wanted to show you guys all something here, and that is the SimGrid standings. So, at the top of the leaderboards, we have got Christopher Larson leading with 403 points. Seems to have this championship locked down at the moment. He has raced fantastically all season long. No one's really been able to touch him, and he's really deserving of the championship this season. In second place, we have a driver who's been in top form all season in the Audi R8 LMS Evo 2. That is Shenkai Zhang. Second season with us here at ZRL. He's been doing absolutely great. Got his first win at the Nürburgring in the rain last time out. We'll see if he can do well tonight here at Laguna Seca. Behind them, 310 points, is Kenneth Portis. KP. Heard he is feeling a little bit under the weather today, but he is in the server. He is ready to race, so hopefully he can have a good race out there. Judging by the current standings, he hasn't put any laps out in practice yet, so we'll have to see how he does. Then we have Ricardo Rivera. This is where things are starting to get a little bit closer in terms of standing. Ricardo Rivera, he's in fourth, doing really well. He's had a really good season. Honestly, just missed a few races and had a few unlucky moments. He probably should have gotten better at the Nürburgring. Was looking to maybe even win that race, but just had some unlucky driving in the wet last week. But he's been in top form, been doing excellent all season long. Hopefully he's hoping for something better this week. We've got Matthew Reed, 204 points in 5th place, highest Ferrari driver right now. Rivera's teammate Pena right here to 186 points. He'd probably be a lot higher as well if it wasn't for all of the did not starts, just missing a few races. Nunez missed the last race at the Nürburgring, but he is back here tonight. Had a couple of bad performances this season for various different reasons, but he's in very good form, and he's just ahead of James Turnbull in 8th place. Then we have our Australian friend, Marcus Van Fleet. He is currently sitting P9 in the standings, pretty close to Turnbull and Nunez, so definitely could be some battles there. We have Belanger, who's had a bit of a rocky season so far, but currently sitting 156 in the points, and really could be in that battle right here with Nunez, Turnbull, Van Fleet. That could be a four-way battle there for those positions. Further down the list, we do have a tie. Ari Harderson, who sadly has had to leave us due to school reasons and due to personal reasons. But then we have Collis right now, 127 points. Right behind him is our Martin Cheese friend, Martin Alberts. Currently sitting P13 with 123 points. Darren Wicks with 111. And Matt Fender both tied right now at 111. So we'll have to see how those two do tonight. Going to be some close battles. Rodman and Wolf, those are two drivers pretty close in the standings with Sunthalap right behind. I don't see, oh, Sunthalap has now joined the server. So really close, but within 1 point of these two drivers here. So going to be a battle for that 17th, 18th place. Could even get up to with Wicks and Fender and Rodman here in terms of points. So and as you can see too, one thing that I love to note here is that Rodman hasn't maybe had the best results all the time, but he's been making every race. So he's really picking up a lot more points when it comes to maybe someone like Wolf here, who's had notably more consistent and better performances, but doesn't have nearly as many points as Rodman because he sadly had to miss a few races. And not trying to say Wolf, one of our admins here, is like naughty, missing races, but it really does go to show how close our championships can be. If you do make all your races and if you do just finish the race, it really can make a big difference. Glenn Pinio, our friend, the Canadian gamer, the old Canadian gamer, sitting in 20, excuse me, sitting in 20th place right now, just behind Dustin Fletcher. We have Simon Beaudry, the last of our Ferraris, with Toby Yao. Close battling between those two right now. Got Chris Rise. Don't see him in the server tonight. Lee Huber, Flores. Do I see Carlos Flores in there right now? I don't see him right now. Todd Ruggiero, all these drivers have had to drop out for various reasons, so a little bit disappointing there, but it's really where our standings are at the moment. So just wanted to show you guys all that before we get into the race tonight, because we are getting very close, excuse me, to the end of the season. And that's where a lot of those mid-pack battles are going to really start coming into play. So watch for Nunez, Turnbull, Van Fleet, and Belanger. Watch out for our friend Martin Alberts and Sean Collis. If I can find out where Collis is, currently in the pits. Watch out for Calvin Wolf and Sunthalap there. So a lot of battles to be watching tonight. 20 drivers in the server as we have 7 minutes left in practice. I'm going to take a very quick break here before we get into qualifying. Go grab some water for myself because it does appear that I'm losing my voice a little bit. Had a lot of engagements this week when I was using my voice to the fullest of its extents, I should say. So my voice has been taking some wear and tear. So for all of you out here there that do a lot of public speaking, possibly singing, or just speak a lot, be sure to take care of your voice. Give it a break. Drink some water. Unsolicited advice there from your broadcaster Shim, because voice fatigue does happen and it can lead to damaging of the vocal cords. Yeah, I'll get off my soapbox there and just give you guys some time to watch practice, but I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. My voice is doing better now that I've drank some water. We have 1 minute and 40 seconds left in this qualifying session, so let's watch as Ricardo Rivera does some last little lines here. I just want to take a moment while we wind down this clock to thank you so much for joining us tonight. I know we've had, some weird little ups and downs with the last week being, it really wasn't our fault with the servers being down and stuff like that, but we do apologize that we weren't able to race last week. Again, not really our fault. There was not much we could do about it. Servers didn't go back online to, I think, 9 o'clock or something, much later than we could really wait out for. But tough to cancel a race nonetheless. It does, add an extra week to our calendar. But the admins, the drivers, all really good sports about it. Great to see them all out here, and good to see a really good turnout. So thank you to all the drivers for sticking with it. Thank you to all you, our fans, for sticking with it. And just want to say that if you're interested in joining Zealous Racing League for future leagues, or just want to join the community, be sure to give us a like and subscribe on the YouTube channel. But also on the homepage of the YouTube channel, if you're not interested in that, do join our Discord, because we have a very active Discord with all of our members, where you can join leagues in the future, or if you're just looking to get sim racing advice, we've got lots of that too, because as you can see, there are 20 drivers on this grid. All of them are a part of our community. Almost all of them will want to help a new sim racer get into the sport. So we do say that, if you're interested in joining us in the future, interested in getting into more sim racing content and sim racing stuff, do feel free to join us. One interesting thing to watch there, Rivera setting the fastest laps in practice here. So that's going to be something to watch when we go into the qualifying session itself. Will somebody be able to dethrone Larson? We will have to see. Honestly, it would be a really cool change of pace. Not that I have anything against Larson. He is a freaking solid dude. But we like to mix it up every once in a while, No hate, but we like to mix it up. As we watch Gomez here cross the line. And there we are. We are into qualifying now, as we watch Nunez get out of the pits first. He is who we will watch on the first hot lap, as Toby Yao is now joined the session, so 21 drivers in the server. And as you guys know, it's tradition for me to watch the first driver out for qualifying, so we will take a hot lap in the cockpit of Nunez's car once he rounds the last few turns here of Laguna Seca, going down the corkscrew. We'll follow him on the first lap. One thing to say too is we are looking to start planning for season 11 here. So if that's something you're interested in, be sure to join our Discord. As we go into the cockpit of Nunez's Audi here, come down the start straight, up the hill, kind of down the hill a little bit, braking just after the 4 before the 3, into a tricky little hairpin, the Andretti hairpin there, as he's just working to get the grip into a tricky right-hander here. Gotta feather that throttle, get the car rotated, in third gear, just kind of off the gas, let the car stick, understeers a lot into the next right-hander there, braking hard as you take the winding left up the hill into a very tricky kink. This is the bane of my existence on this track. Right after the two there, really want to coast it and try to get on the power as early as possible, getting on that little lip, that little dip in the curb there. You want to make sure you kind of hit that. You want to stay away from the sausage as he brakes just on the edge of the hill there, down the corkscrew, losing a little bit of grip there as well, into another little dicey little left-hander for Nunez there. Downshifting into the right before the last sort of hairpinish corner here. Making sure to take it as close to the apex as you possibly can. Down the front straight, you want to get on the power early there. Very important for lap times with a 124.5 for Nunez. I know he can do better than that. So we watch Larson here with a 123. Pena with a 124. Got Van Fleet with a 124.5, just ahead of Nunez. Belanger and Pinot setting laps now. 26 for Pinot. Zhang sets a lap. A 28, must have gotten holed up. Reed setting a nice fast lap there. Wicks going ahead of Pinot. Gomez sets his first lap. Belanger has now set a lap. It looks like, oh, nope, pardon me. One driver to watch here is going to be Rivera as he comes down the start-finish line now. Let's see what he can do. And he does go fastest, a 122.9, dipping into the 22s. We'll see if he can hold that. He's currently 2/10 ahead of Larson. Both driving that same car, the Honda. Larson, as he comes to the close of his lap here. Let's see what he can put out. First lap was really about getting those tires warm too, so there Larson goes with a 122.4. Portis also improves on his last time too. Rivera still a half a second back, Portis and Rivera are both a half a second back from Larson now. Rivera now tackling the corkscrew down the hill. Sparks flying off the rear diffuser of that Honda NSX. Actually, technically, since he's in the States, all those Hondas really should be Acuras, but we're getting really nitpicky here now. There we are. Rivera, not enough to put himself into P1, but he's only 3/10 back now. He was able to improve. Going down the list here, we see our friend Glenn Pinio as he winds his way up the hill, taking on the kink in that beautiful Mercedes AMG. GT America and the World Challenge was just in California, not at Laguna Seca, but they were just in California. I want to say it was this last weekend. They were at Sonoma, which is just outside of San Francisco, I believe. I think Laguna Seca is in between San Francisco and LA, or maybe it's, let me take a quick look here at Google Maps to really figure this out. Let's watch our friend Nunez here. So Laguna Seca is outside of Monterey, which is indeed between Los Angeles and San Francisco. A little closer to San Francisco, but right along in that area. So I was right. I know my geography at least a little bit. Have faith in me, everyone. Nunez seems to be struggling out there right now this season. Nunez is a driver that we've known to be able to get podiums a lot of the time, or at least stay in the top 10 pretty securely. He's had a tough season so far. He is able to improve, but only slightly. Is not able to improve track position or starting position. Sunthalap is just ahead of him. Sunthalap, one of two Aston Martin drivers, as he takes on the kink up the hill. I think it was about a month ago now, I raced with the System Racing League here at Laguna Seca, and 40% of my laps were valid because of that little kink right there. Just had a lot of troubles, and that as well happened a few times right there, what Sunthalap just did. Down the hill, just losing the car a little bit. Didn't lose it completely, was able to control the car and keep everything in order as we watch Sunthalap cross the line here. Isn't able to improve. Rivera's in the pits. Larson now enters the pits as well. Portis is still out there. As we watch Portis here, looks like he's slowing down a little bit early there. Maybe wants to get a really good run for this lap. Gather a bit of a gap there to the 94 car in front of Zhang. Indeed, that is the case. 5.5 minutes left in qualifying. Larson and Rivera are both out on out laps as Larson waits for a car to come by. Our Australian friend Van Fleet doing really well in the championships. Crossing the line now, currently in 8th place. Is he able to improve? He is not. A couple seconds back from his best. Could have been held up by traffic. Let's see how our flanneled friend, goodness, that's a little bit of a tongue twister. Our flanneled friend, Sean Collis, is doing. Goes a bit wide there. That is, you know, I can't even give him much crap about that because I do that all the time. It's such a tough corner. You really want to try, there's two parts of this track well, I say two parts, but really I find myself where I need to make up the most time or gain the most time. It's on this last corner here and it's on that kink. Those are the two places where it really makes or breaks my laps, it feels like. It's just so incredibly difficult. There's really quite a few turns here. This track is so technical and you need to be so precise and so on the ball. You need to be focused every single lap that you take, because really if you don't take it seriously, if you don't really give it your all and really don't focus 100% here at Laguna Seca, you're not going to be putting in competitive times, you're not going to be putting in consistent times, and you're also just going to struggle to keep the car on track. It's just so technical, it's so difficult. It's really what makes this a special track and a really unique track in my opinion. Yeah, it's got that awesome turn, the corkscrew. It's got that picturesque, just amazingness that is the corkscrew. But it really, every single turn of this track is a work of art, and it's tricky in its own way. Maybe I'm getting a little too poetic there. I don't know, but Rivera not able to improve his time. Let's watch his teammate Pena here, coming around that kink that we've talked so much about. Two and a half minutes left in qualifying here. I did mention it right before qualifying, but we are looking at start dates here and planning for season 11 of Zealous Racing League. I think we're going to be doing a 8-round calendar. There is a possibility of us doing some fun series in between. I've pitched an idea to the admins. I think it might work. It's going to take a bit of work, but I think it could be really fun. Just a really short, maybe 3 or 4 week calendar of hopefully a hot mess of racing. Like I literally want chaos. I want to make a series that's going to be just absolute chaos. 100% chaos the whole time. But I won't reveal too much. I've revealed it to a few people. Mostly the admins. We won't get into that just yet. Pena looks to have gone just a little bit wide there. Rivera, as he comes up the hill. Last lap wasn't a great one. Seems to be struggling a little bit there. He knows he's got it in him. Ooh, and there we see Sunthalap's car in the barrier, sent to the Shadow Realm. Rivera's been rapid all season long. Let's see if he can really put one together here. Get that race win. That's just been eluding him all season. He really, really wants it. Let's see if this lap's going to make it. He only has one more chance after this. He does improve, but he does have to go a 10th and a half faster if he wants that pole position. Larson currently setting laps still as well. Let's see if he can improve. Nunez opts to end his lap there. Isn't able to get another in the... there we go. Larson does improve. A 21.9. Another front runner car here. Shankai Zhang. You know, those Hondas really do look incredible at this track. It'll be interesting too next season. We are going to be implementing, hopefully, well, we'll see when they are, if and when they are, Zhang has to end his lap there. If and when the DLC that a lot of people think is coming um, is dropping, whenever that DLC drops, we can expect a series hopefully pretty soon after that. See if Baudry can improve. Is not able to. Larson is going to be the last car to drop here. Let's see if Sunthalap and Alberts and Gomez can improve their time. Oh, Gomez is actually done. Let's see if Alberts can improve. He can't. And Larson does, but it doesn't really matter because he already had it. And here we are, everyone. Track is optimum, 26 degrees Celsius, 32 degrees in the air. 34 degrees on the track, sorry, and 26 in the air. Optimum track temp. Doesn't look like we're going to get any rain during today's race. But to give everyone a bit of a look at what we've got going on here. Our pole sitter tonight is going to be Christopher Larson. Then we have Ricardo Rivera right after him. KP in third place. Lining up next to him is Shenkai Zhang. Abner Pena in P5. P6 is Van Fleet. Belanger is in P7. Nunez in P8. Collis P9. Reed P10. Beaudry in P11. Sunthalap in P12. Martin Alberts in P13. Calvin Wolf in P14. Wicks in 15. Turnbull 16. 17 is Yao. Rodman Jr. III in 18th. Pinio in 19th. Gomez in 20th. And Fender, last but not least, will be starting in 21st place. Now I'm not sure if Fender has his. No, it doesn't look like he has his Joker round here. So it looks like he's just starting at the back of the pack. Maybe wasn't able to set a good lap, or actually maybe it looks like he's disqualified. Interesting. Very, very strange there. Have to see what's happening with Fender's car there. It says he's disqualified, but not really sure. It looks like Gomez is now disqualified in the pits. Interesting. But going to be able to hit drive here shortly. And there we are. 30 seconds left for our drivers to get ready for this 60-minute race at Laguna Seca. Going to be one mandatory pit stop for those drivers. Five seconds until the session will start. We do have a bit of a run-up here. This is one of the longer starts on this kind of shortened start procedure, shortened formation lap. As we now are going to watch the start of this race. Watch our drivers navigate down the corkscrew here. 3 Hondas in the front here. It's going to be a three-way battle between these drivers. I can imagine that Rivera is going to give Larson a really big run for his money, unless Portis has anything to say about it. Portis is a lot closer in pace than Rivera, to Rivera. So maybe it's going to be a case of Portis putting on too much pressure for Rivera to handle. Maybe it'll drop him back in the order a little bit. We'll have to see how this is going to pan out. Looks like Gomez's car is still disqualified. And here we are, down the start-finish straight. We go. And we are green, going racing here. Rivera gets a really good start, but Larson's got that inside line. It's really going to prove useful here. And now Portis is getting his nose in there. Oh, Abner Pena's driven off track. Contact between Zhang and Portis there. A little bit of bumping. Oh, we have the, that is a Porsche that's spinning around a little bit there. That looks like it was Collis, if I'm not mistaken. Further back in the pack, we do have some close battling here. Close between Sunthalap and Reed there. Sunthalap's currently in a Ferrari sandwich there. Poutine sandwich, I should say. We've got Collis right behind those two. After a bit of that turn one incidents, Collis does have to yield the position a little bit to Beaudry as they all start lining up, going up the hill. Rivera seems to have lost already over a half a second on Larson there. Zhang keeping close to Portis. Rivera doing a really good job of maintaining his position to Larson. That's going to be his goal this race, is just try to stick with Larson the best he can. Excuse me. Further behind, see our drivers coming around after this first lap. Here we have Larson now. Commanding that lead now, 7/10 ahead of Rivera. Rivera is trying to hold that the best he can. Portis is now a second back from Rivera. Zhang a second back from Portis. Pena is staying awfully close there to Zhang in front. Maybe a little bit of damage between Zhang and Portis there on the opening laps. Rivera trying to just stick with the best he can. Everything's looking clean from our drivers now. Looks like the 138 of Collis, a little bit of an incident from him. He is now in the back of the pack. Rivera trying to stick with, but isn't able to. Yep, Collis now dropping down that standing. You can see it right now. Indeed, it did look like a very clean start. A few little things in the opening turn there. So we watch our anime card Honda, anime liveried Honda, Toby Yao trying to take on what looks to be Glenn Pineo's car there in front of him. Behind him is Fender. Oh, really good run from Yao there, right on the tails of Pineo. Let's see if into turn one, can he do it? There he is. He definitely has the speed, the momentum. Looks on the inside. Glenn, ooh, maybe closes him off a little bit there. That was a bit dangerous. Yao was able to just skirt out without too much damage, it looks like. And Fender yields his position to Collis, it looks like, as we have Abner Pena and Belanger battling it out now. Rivera is still within the second. Pit window is open, and it looks like Collis's car is in the pits. It looks like Belanger's Ferrari getting a little bit squirrely there behind Pena here. Portis has dropped 2 seconds back. Zhang is holding with Portis. Now Pena dropping Belanger behind. I think he downshifted one too many gears there, but it happens. Rivera still holding two. The 99 car of Pineo's off track. Had a bit of an incident there, opted to take that runoff road. Does look like there's some substantial damage on the front of that Mercedes. Very tricky track, so a very big bummer for our friend Glenn there. Now we watch Van Fleet sandwiched between Nunez and Belanger. Nunez has gained a few positions here. As we're now 5 minutes into this race. Awfully close battles here. P6, 7, 8, and 9. All within a second of each other. Rivera has the fastest lap of the race. Definitely seems to be coming alive in sectors 2 and 3. Larson does appear to have the edge when it comes to sector 1 though. Especially when it comes to consistency. Here we have Larson crossing the finish line. Now he has the fastest lap. Rivera behind. Indeed, that is what it looks like. It is sector 1 that Larson is really pulling that time away from Rivera. A lot of time to be gained or lost in sector 1, depending on how you manage that final straight, or that run up to the final straight, and then manage the hairpin and tricky left-hander after. can be really difficult to manage. Here, watch an overview of Turnbull and Rodman getting very close to each other here. Albert's right in front of them. Pinho's now served his pit stop after that lap, that damage on the last lap. Rodman getting really close, and Yao's very close behind them then. As they come up the hill, watching Turnbull close in. Looks like Alberts is being held up by Wicks maybe a little bit in P13 there. Ooh, we do have a car off right there. That looks like an Audi of, I want to say that's Darren Wicks. Does look like that's Darren Wicks. Now slotted in behind Yao. That'll move Alberts up. But now Alberts is feeling the pressure from Turnbull and Rodman behind. As we watch him drive. Here we go into the hairpin there. Turnbull has to really get on the brakes a little bit earlier than he might want to there, just so he doesn't lock up into the back of Albert's Mac and the Martin Cheese Mercedes there. As they come up the hill, 4 cars battling it out here. As they go into the corkscrew. Ooh, Yao has to be on the brakes fast as he cuts the corner there, as to not run into Rodman. Allows Alberts and Turnbull to pull away. Rodman and Yao a little bit further behind. Turnbull right on the tail of Albert now. Alberts is going to try to close that gap now to Wolf ahead. And if you look close behind, Rodman and Yao getting close once again. Rivera's doing a wonderful job of sticking with Larson now. Last lap, Rivera was able to get a faster Sector 1, but did lose some time in Sectors 2 and 3. So just a little bit of a switcheroo there in terms of where the pace is in their lap. Rodman gains time in the last sector. Watching those deltas. Here we move up the order. Van Fleet and Nunez battling it out for P7. Right in front of them is Belanger, a little bit further away, but still within reach. As those cars just try to stick to the ground there. Get a lot of understeer going down that turn. As you're going downhill, the car just grips into the ground. Just have to be very light on the pedals as Nunez gets a poor run, and it looks like maybe Reed might be able to get a bit of a run on Nunez, but Nunez is able to hold out the top speed of that Audi. Is just too much for the Ferrari to handle, as it looks like Reed's teammate Belanger goes a bit wide into the hairpin there, but you can take multiple lines, so it's okay for now. Difficult to pass on this track. Now Reed getting awfully close to Nunez. Oh, very tricky to brake there when you have so many cars in front. Really gets dicey because you wanna obviously get as much time as possible, but you can't run into the back of the person in front of you. So you have to be very careful in the brakes up the hill with so many people. Here we have Toby Yao down the corkscrew with Rodman and Alberts at his tail. Looks like Yao was able to get ahead of this little group here. Turbo's dropped back. Wonder what happened here to have this occur. Here's Beaudry, the last of our Ferraris. Sandwich between Sunthalap and Wolf, two of our Aston Martin drivers. As they exit Sector 1 here, it looks like Beaudry's got a really good run on Sunthalap here. Does he have what it takes? Goes on the inside. Ooh, Sunthalap has to give a little bit of space for Beaudry there. Up the hill, they are too wide, but yep, Beaudry's just going to have to... Beaudry's going to have to yield that there. It's too dangerous. You really cannot go too wide there. Wolf is now getting his nose into the mix there and really sends a dive on Beaudry. Forces Beaudry to kind of veer out of the way there, and now Wolf's on the inside, and it looks like he'll take it, but Wolf didn't get the best run there. Beaudry's definitely going to have some speed here. Needs to get a better run down the start-finish straight. Looks like Wolf will take that spot for now. Looks like it was done cleanly from what I can tell. It was a huge dive bomb, not going to lie, but it seems to have paid off in Wolf's favor. See if Beaudry can respond here. Not sure if he does have what's in him. I think Wolf is the faster car. Van Fleet getting close to Belanger up in P7 and 6. Rivera losing time, even more so to Larson. They've kind of been in their own little race up there, though. Looks like Rivera's starting to just gather a few mistakes here and there. Ooh, gets really close in the braking zone to Wolf there. Maybe Beaudry's a little bit ticked off. That move was quite a send from Wolf. Even if it technically was, in all fairness. Close in the braking zone is Beaudry. Looking to get a good run. Aston Martin's good in a straight, though. We have another car in the pits here. Nunez opting to pit here at the 45-minute mark. Ooh, tries to get that car rotated. Heavy on the brakes there is Wolf. Trying to get that car rotated to catch up with Sunthalap there. Sunthalap wide. And that'll yield the position there. Wolf will take P10. That is a top 10 finish now. If this was Formula 1, he'd be in the points. And now, looks like Belanger is looking to get close to Sunthalap there, as they're now too wide coming up the hill. Looks like Sunthalap has the better line. Looking at those two cars behind, looks like Beaudry is able to get ahead of Sunthalap there. Yao is now the 12th place car behind them. As now the race will settle down. The battle now is between Beaudry and Sunthalap here. It's the closest battle on track right now. Going to the hairpin there. Beaudry doesn't seem to be gaining any time on Wolf ahead of him. So it looks like Wolf is pulling away at the time being. Portis is now 8.5 seconds behind Rivera. Zhang 5.5 seconds behind him. So our leaders are really spacing themselves out now. As it looks like our friend Larson passes Glenn Pinio. Or, sorry, that's actually Nunez. That's going to slow down Rivera now. Rivera was able to gain a bunch of time as he's able to gain a bunch of time as Larson attempted to pass Nunez there. But how much time is Rivera going to lose? As we come up the hill to the next little timing screen thing here, it just loses all that time back. So I will say, I'm just going to say it now because I'm so excited. Next week we will have a new broadcaster joining us. You probably won't be able to see or hear him, but we will have a new broadcaster in the booth. I am getting a puppy this next weekend, so there's a good chance that there might be a puppy in my lap when we are doing the live stream next week for the final round. A little bit of a guest broadcaster. I'm just so excited. I can't not talk about it right now. So I just had to mention that. I'm so excited. Getting a puppy. I've been looking forward to this for literally like 6-7 years now. So there, I got it off my chest. I just wanted to share that incredibly exciting news with all you. And who knows? Maybe there's going to be new content with that during the race as we go forward. Got a bit of a gaggle here as Wolf catches up to Beaudry there. Looks like that's Beaudry. Looking at the timing sheets, indeed that is Beaudry. Really close here, and Yao is now in this group as well. Really close battles here for the last few positions in the top 10. As we come up the hill, Yao getting very close. Ooh, Suntalap almost lost it there. Hitting that curb there on the exit. Pretty PogChamp. The dog? That's pretty PogChamp? Maybe next season we'll have to do a live stream camera for me, so you can get some in the booth commentary. Get to see, you know, I say that, but honestly, I think I have a face for radio. Not gonna lie. So I have the perfect face for radio. My dog, on the other hand, definitely going to be quite the stunner. So maybe we'll have to do a little bit of a webcam viewing viewing next week, just so we can show off the pup. 20 minutes have gone by already in this race. Time is flying fast when you're having fun watching these drivers. Ooh, Suntalap taking a lot of the curb there as they go down the hill. I think Yao, wonder if he's going to try and get a move done here as Suntalap's a little bit on the back foot. Doesn't look like he's going to. It's just not enough momentum, not enough time lost there. Wolf is in the pits. Ooh, that's quite a good run, it looks like, from... Ooh, Sunderlap closes off that inside. Oh, Yao's got a really good run, though. They're side by side into the hairpin. Looks like Yao's going to just squeeze out ahead. Sunderlap, is he going to answer, though? Isn't able to. Oh, what a cut! Just cutting off that second apex at the Andretti hairpin. Now that was excellent little move by Yao. Moves himself into P10. Will be P11 after, since Wolf is currently in the pits. Fender is also in the pits right now. Number 6 car is in the pits. That is Fender. Sorry. Rivera losing a lot of time. I wonder if that's traffic. Doesn't really look like it's much traffic. Just looks like Rivera is maybe losing his edge a little bit as Van Fleet now comes around the hairpin with Wolf just coming out at that moment. Might not be really good for Wolf. Might lose him some time there. So now Wolf is sliding into this little group of front runners in the top of the front of the top 10 here. Quite a substantial gap between P9 and P8. Looks like Fender has a stop-go 30-second penalty from that pit stop, so very unfortunate for him. Here we have Abner Pena having a bit of a quiet race, sitting P5 pretty comfortably right now. He's 3.5 seconds from Zhang ahead of him, and Van Fleet's got almost 5 seconds behind him. Sunderlap back to this little battle here. Rodman is much closer than a second. Rodman must be within a half a second, I would say. Sunderlap gets a really good run there, though. Look at that, half a second. I'm pretty much a genius when it comes to guessing those gaps. Audi gets really close in that braking zone. Doesn't have as good of exits, though. Sunderlap definitely doing better there. Alberts is in the pits. Here we have Reed. 2 admins battling it out here. Ooh, Wolf going a bit wide there, letting Reed pass. Here we have that gaggle of cars. Sunderlap getting passed by Rodman here. Sunderlap has the inside line. Turnbull right behind. Beaudry in the pits. Less than 35 minutes left in this race. Looking at Rivera's lap times here, still just not pulling out the laps that you'd expect. Must be getting into traffic still. Again, no. Doesn't appear to be any traffic near him. I just think he's losing a little bit of the edge, which is really disappointing. Given we know he's got the speed on one lap. He does gain a little bit of time in that last sector, but let's hope he can gain that back. I think he has what it is. I think he has it in him to push back against Larson here. Gotta say, I'm really rooting for him here. Rodman really pulling away from Santhalap and Turnbull behind him. That battle is helping him out quite a bit. Oh, looks to be driving that Audi very well. Rodman's fastest lap, 24. Very good. Very good fast lap from him there. Almost 24 flat. Some Poutine brothers back to back here. I think that's actually Belanger and Beaudry. And indeed that is Belanger and Beaudry. Beaudry having already taken his pit stop. Getting close to the halfway point. Going to see a lot more cars taking their pit stop. Here we have Van Fleet. Rodman. Back to Belanger here. Ah, goodness gracious. Isn't that a sight to behold? I can almost taste the poutine as I look at their two cars. You know, I just feel it on such a like physical level. I can just feel the poutine seeping out of every pore of that car. Just really, really oozing potential, potential. That was pretty bad. That was really a stretch. I apologize. That was a pretty poor attempt at trying to make a pun there. Teammate allows him through there. Waves him on by. A little bit of team orders. All aboard the gravy train, says Slim. I don't know if I want to get aboard the gravy train, you know, to be honest. I think I was forcefully put on the gravy train. I think that's where we're at. It wasn't a willing decision, but I'm on the train nonetheless. And it's not like I'm like too disappointed about it, but I'm just maybe a little disgusted at myself. You get where I'm feeling? I don't know. It's a lot of a mix of emotions when I look at that car. Good, bad, all of it. Rivera takes the lead for a little bit here as Larson's now in the pits. Portis coming in behind. Portis has got quite a gap though to Rivera ahead. Pena's in the pits along with Larson. And I wonder if something might happen here with Pena and Larson. Or if Pena is going to try to slow down Larson at all, or whatever that might be. That might be a tricky little move there. Here we have Martin Alberts coming down the start-finish straight as we watch Larson exit onto the track. A lot of traffic ahead of him. Here we have Portis. Looks like Rivera's going to stay out last lap. Rivera did a 22.5. Looks to be a pretty good lap from Rivera there. Looking at that timing sheet, definitely a pretty good lap. Nunez in P10 now. He took his pit stop a little earlier than everyone else. Reed comes out just ahead of him. Van Fleet currently running P2 now that Portis and Zhang are in the pits. As we watch him round the Andretti hairpin there. Track is getting pretty clear right now with all of the drivers taking their pit stops. Rivera's still out there setting times. The 29 car of Reed bins it at the Reed just bins it at the corkscrew there. Is there any damage? Doesn't look like there's any damage, just has a bit of an incident there, just a little issue. Larson out there right now is looking to navigate traffic as now Rivera's in the pits. Rivera is coming out now. Ooh, it's going to be very close. Watching Larson now. There's Rivera, just passes him there. Maybe if Rivera went a few more laps. Larson was getting slowed down there. Excuse me. Van Fleet takes the lead, having not put in his pit stop just yet. Yao is in the pits and Turnbull as well. Van Fleet, the only driver not to go into the pits yet. As our drivers have now mostly made their pit stops. I'm going to take a really quick break here, let you guys watch the stream. I'm going to go refill my water real quick, because as I said before the race started, taking care of your vocal cords and vocal muscles. Very important, kids. Just want you to know that. Very important. Drink lots of water. Rest the voice. It's important. That's a word from your sponsor, Shim, on vocal cord health. I'm going to go do that really quick, though, and I'll be right back. All right, we are back, folks. Got a quick drink of water. We're looking good. As we watch the race here continue to unfold, Rivera continues to lose a little bit of time every lap to Larson in front, but appears to be gaining on Portis behind. So doing well to solidify that P2 position there for Rivera. It's going to be his best performance of the year, I believe. Or at least tied for his best performance. If I guess I forget if he's gotten a P2 yet, but definitely been in the podium a few times. Here we have Nunez and Van Fleet. Really tough battle here. Let's watch the two drivers. Van Fleet looks to the inside here as they go down the start-finish straight. And just doesn't have the speed to get ahead of the Audi there. Nunez blocks him off. Nunez doing well to get back into P6. Looks like that early pit stop really did help him out. Just got him some track to run on by himself. Here we have our race leader, Christopher Larson. Really sending it into the turn there. There, we're back to Nunez with Van Fleet right on his tail. Into the corkscrew they go. Ooh, Nunez gets a little bit too wide there. Looks like a good run for him though, but oh, Van Fleet, oh, almost was getting a good run. Loses it a little bit on the exit there. On the green pavement there, the green painted pavement. Looking a little bit further back, it looks like Beaudry and Rodman are having a bit of a battle right now as well. So that's something we'll want to take a look at. Ooh, and there goes Nunez off the track there. It's going to give Van Fleet the run. Contact. And Van Fleet holds his line, as he should. Very close between those two. Could have been very, very deadly for both of the drivers there. With Belanger really not that far behind, could have been very close for him. Looks like Van Fleet is able to get ahead and get back into P6. Nunez is going to try to stick with. We have our friend Calvin Wolf, currently sitting P10. Very good race from Wolf today, keeping it nice and clean and consistent. A little bit of a dive bomb earlier in the race, but it all has panned out well for him. Now in a bit of a gap here. as he sees Glenn Pinio in front of him. Turnbull's in the pits right now. Maybe some more issues from him. Glenn planting it right there, not letting him pass. Maybe just looking for a little better time. And there he goes, lets him by. Yao and Rodman, now the battle to watch as Yao closes in. Pinio letting the drivers by, and if you look there, Portis is even getting involved. Not that this is his battle, this is a couple lap cars for him, but still gonna have to navigate. Something to watch here now is how long it takes for Zhang to overtake Santhalap, and that was pretty anticlimactic because it happened almost instantly. Zhang, another guy who's had a pretty quiet race so far, but doing very well up there in P4. Really locking it down here. Kind of hurts to say that he's the best of the rest right now, because he's definitely one of the fastest drivers on the grid, capable of rubbing it, capable of running with Larson and Rivera and Portis any day, but those Hondas are just far too strong. If I remember correctly, Laguna Seca is one of the tracks that didn't get a nerf or didn't get a BOP change from that Honda. So that Honda is really powerful here on this track. Beaudry and Wolf now. Yao just passed. Looks like he has passed Rodman now. Gonna have Beaudry and Wolf here. Battle could be ensuing shortly. Another driver we haven't heard too much from today is Darren Wicks. Doing well in 13th place currently. Number 9 car on the gravel there. Yao drops back in the order. As we watch Wicks end his lap right there. After a bit of an incident there in the early stages of the race, running off the track, Glenn's had a very consistent race thus far, doing well in 16th place ahead of Martin Alberts. Looks like his Mercedes friend there got into some scuffle of sorts, and as we watch Glenn just dip his toes into the gravel there, but no worries. Keeps it going forward. Everything is looking good for Glenn here. Alberts here just seemed to maybe have a couple bad laps, and oh my goodness, looking at his Mercedes right now, looks like it's seen better days. A lot of damage on his Mercedes in the final minutes of the race. Really hate to see that. Probably hindering him quite a bunch. Whether it be causing understeer. Oh, and he loses the car. No. That's a lot of damage on the front of that Mercedes. Might have to go take a pit stop real quick to repair that damage. Another driver who we were talking a lot about, but haven't really seen too much of him. Rivera has the fastest lap of the race now, so he can be comforted that he has that, but just wasn't able to keep up with the race pace of Larson today. Just was just a little bit slower than he would have liked to be. And he is putting in some very impressive laps, but I don't know if he has enough time left in the race to really make it count, you know. He's putting in laps that are about 2/10 faster than Larson right now. Definitely has the pace, but just some early race mistakes or whatever it may be. Just it didn't go in his way, and I know how it goes. You just get too nervous or just make one mistake. It makes it so much easier to make another. But we know Rivera has the pace. We know he's got what it takes. Be rooting for him in future races. Hopefully, considering all will go well for Larson here. Hopefully he gets a race win soon. Definitely getting a lot of time now that Larson's getting caught up from some backmarker traffic now. Looks like that is that is one of the Ferraris. Can't catch the number just yet. Might be the 29 of Reed. Rivera sets a really nice lap there. Gains a bunch of time back, so maybe it's not over yet. If Larson really gets caught up by traffic here, maybe gets tangled in with the traffic too much, could be bad for him. Let's give our friend KP some love as well. Haven't really seen too much of him, just in the background of a lot of shots. But he's been running a very, very comfortable third place for most of the race. We'll watch him make a few corners here. KP, like I said, it was maybe feeling a little bit under the weather. But his driving indicates that he's still in top shape, I'd say. Let's look at some of the battles we maybe have going on here. Belanger and Nunez. Right behind them, they have the race leader. Rivera losing a lot of time last lap. Had a bit of an incident. Three minutes, 40 seconds left in the race as Belanger lets Larson pass. Nunez probably waiting for the straight here to let Larson go by. And indeed, that's exactly what he does. Probably the best place to let a driver go by. Don't lose as much time there as you would on most other parts of the track. Maybe right after turn, or what is it now? Maybe after turn 4 and into turn 5, that little whatever barely is a turn. Maybe that'd be another part of the track to make a pass in, but as they come up the hill here. 2 minutes left in the race. Number 9 car of Yao. Ooh, currently sideways as they head down the corkscrew. Our friend Wolf here. Actually, another one we should try here is back to this little battle here. Teammates, Reed and Belanger. Now, if I remember correctly, Reed is the faster of these two, if only barely. Looking at fastest laps, though, you know, I'd beg to differ. Again, it's only barely. These two are pretty close in terms of pace. I think Reed out-qualified Belanger today, if I remember correctly. But awfully close. Belanger a little bit squirrely there. 1 minute left. With laps in the 120s, I wonder if there is enough time in this race for another lap after this one. So we watch our drivers come up the hill. Let's watch Reed battle his teammate here in the closing stages of the race. 25 seconds left on the clock. If Larson can pass that line before the timer runs out, we will have one more lap after this. And it looks like that will be the case. White flag. White flag is out. This will be the last lap of this race. Now, the race will only end once Larson himself, the leader of the race, will cross that finish line. Or, I should say, maybe it's not going to be Larson. We'll have to see if he makes a mistake here. But once the leader crosses the finish, that's when the race will officially end. Ooh, a lot of traffic here. Pinio getting out of the way of these drivers. Reed looking, isn't able to get close enough to Belanger to make a move. But looks a little bit on the inside. Not going to make it through the kink, though. We all know that. Gets a really nice run up the hill. Maybe looking to the inside. Isn't close enough to make a move happen, though. Ooh, has to hit the brakes hard. Almost lost it there. Rivera right behind him. It looks like Reed isn't going to be able to make it. And as he rounds the final corner here, your race winner, Christopher Larson. That's another race under his belt this season that he has won. Congratulations to him. Excellent performance. Second place will be Ricardo Rivera with the fastest lap of the race. Excellent performance from Ricardo. Really hope he gets a win soon. Definitely is deserving of it. Has the pace to do so. We'll hope for one in the future. In third place, we have our friend KP, the last of the Hondas. I should say, the last of the Hondas at the front. Portis crossing the line, P3. Shenkai Zhang, the couple other cars in front of him. around the final turn. And run his way down the start finish straight for a P4. Pena behind him coming down the straight. We'll get P5. Excellent performance from him. And the last of our cars to cross will be Van Fleet. Nunez, Belanger, Reed, and Wolf have already crossed, and there is the race. Well, there you have it, folks. Another commanding win by our leader of the series, Christopher Larson. Huge congratulations to him. And as we go back to the garage here, we can see the final standings of the race. Like I said, another commanding win from our friend Christopher Larson there in the Honda. Honda's on the podium this weekend, or this week I should say, with Larson in the lead, Rivera in P2 with the fastest lap, and Portis rounding out our podium a couple seconds back from Rivera. But Portis, Rivera, and Larson, big congratulations to them, and thank you to all of our drivers. In order now, we've got Zhang in 4, P5 Pena, Van Fleet in 6, Nunez 7, Belanger in 8, 9 is Reed, 10 is Wolf, 11 is Beaudry, 12 is Wicks, having passed Sunthilap in 13th, Rodman in 12th, Yao 15, Pinio 16, Alberts in 17, Turnbull, Fender, Collis, and Gomez will round out our standings this week. Folks, that is all I have for you today. Thank you so much. You so much for joining us this week. I'll be back next week for coverage of our final race of the season, our Crown Jewel race. It's going to be an 80-minute race at Kailami. It's going to be exciting. We're going to have a new member of the squad in the box. Maybe have to turn on the camera, let everyone meet the new puppy. But anyway, I digress. It's been an absolute pleasure to provide this commentary to you of round 9 of Zad's Galaxy Tour Season 10 here at Laguna Seca. My name is Shim. I've been your host tonight, and be sure to tune in next week at the same time, same place, for the final round of this season. Thank you so much for joining. Have a wonderful week, and stay safe out there. Peace.